Men are faced with a ton of double standards, especially in our society today, that if we don't bring our awareness to, we won't actually be able to see what's going on. So I'm just gonna get into it. First things first, you guys. A woman can advocate for her sexuality by exposing herself online while she's in a relationship. You know, the whole Instagram baddie gig. Seeking validation, because you guys, I'm sorry, women watching this, men watching this, a woman posting herself half naked online or in a provocative manner is not for any other reason than to gain validation. I feel like we all know this by now, and honestly, to each their own. There's no judgment. But the one thing I do want to touch on that's a double standard is when the man is actually lusting over these women, he's viewed in the contrary of empowered, he's viewed as disempowered, which really he is disempowered. If a man is lusting over Instagram baddies, you got to get your priorities in check. However, in a relationship, let's say, a woman can do that, and that's totally okay. That's in her right. That's in her female right. But when a man likes these types of women while he's in a relationship, he's viewed as disloyal, sexually objectifying women, also cheating. Now, let's bring our senses into this. Aren't both categorized as, I guess, cheating, seeking outside satisfaction? That's what it is. Now, everyone has different definitions in a relationship of what cheating is. That is definitely in the category of cheating. For me, could be different to other women. However, if you're a woman, if you're a man, and you've experienced this before, look into it. It's a double standard, okay? We can't get mad at our men for lusting over the women on Instagram if women are the ones who are participating in that in relationships. It just doesn't make sense. That's the number one thing I can think of. The other thing is men having standards and calling out their standards as if it's a wrong thing. But when a woman does it, it's in her right. She gets to do that because a woman who has high standards is high value. But a man having these standards and these very honestly normal standards, he's viewed as misogynistic or wants to suppress a woman. Let's say a man is high earning and he doesn't want his woman to work, or he wants to provide for his woman. That's looked as a very suppressing thing now in our society, and it's even being programmed into like our young women that, you know, I've touched on this before. A woman doing OnlyFans is way more celebrated than a woman being a stay-at-home mom and wife, which it's the complete opposite. Honestly, it's sad that I even have to bring this to the table, but this is the reality, and this is the double standard. Men get labeled a lot of things by just speaking what they're wanting, what they're desiring out of women. And if it doesn't fall in line from what a woman's self-identity portrays, he's either judging her harshly by just having standards, or is misogynistic because any little thing that a man does that has one slight sliver of not desiring the modern woman, he's viewed as toxic. And that's not the case. Okay, that's it. I'm just gonna clear the air there. That is not the case. Men watching this, please kill this double standard by just standing out, speaking your truth, standing up to women in a way that is respectful. We don't have to do it in a rude way. Cut that out, because it's not even showing the woman or you that you're integrated within masculinity. There's a way to do it to be stern and to get your point across when you're not intentionally throwing jabs at a woman. It's childish. Now, this kind of moves me on to my third one. A man being childish and a woman being childish, they're viewed as completely different things. A woman acting childish in a relationship, either overreactive or maybe patterns of, overly emotional, using her man as an emotional punching bag, or even actually physical abuse. If a man does any of this, any single ounce of showing an emotion or showing a reaction, or maybe an occasional spiral into his emotions, he's viewed as dangerous to be around. Let's see, if a man cries, he's looked at as weak and maybe dysfunctional because he cries. and he's not up to stature with what a high value man should have. Now, these are just human qualities that everyone goes through. And the more we suppress this within men, the more you will see men being very unhealthy actually to date. So we need to celebrate just our humanity again, okay? And support that in one another in healthy ways. But as I was saying, childish behavior in a man is not tolerated. If you even show a sliver of it, you're going to be pinned as honestly being emasculated probably by a woman. And no man thrives in that environment. That's how men spiritually, mentally die in relationships, is when the woman targets his masculinity. Oh, but if a man brings up a woman's femininity, he has no right to speak about that because of what's happened in the past. If he does bring it up, wanting a soft, open, surrendered woman, how dare he want that? How dare a man want that in a woman? Don't you see, men, how harsh we've had it within relationships? It takes a lot for a woman to open. Now, this is also quite true. No woman's gonna just open to you and surrender to you if you do not show evidence of having any structure in your life, the capability to hold her, to contain her, and honestly own her. Now, this gets very twisted, and I could do a whole other video about this, but a woman to actually fully feel safe in her femininity, she needs to be owned by a man. And I know this sounds really suppressing, doesn't it? It's not. It's actually quite a beautiful quality that a man can own his woman in a way that she becomes a part of him. He takes her on as a part of him. And that's beautiful. But anyways, kind of got lost in that statement. But getting back on track, a woman showing toxic behavior in a relationship, having meltdowns, having either abuse be a continual pattern, and abuse can show up in multiple ways, you guys. It's not just physical. Honestly, the majority of abuse nowadays is mentally, it's verbally, it's by manipulating, and that's why we see so many narcissist videos now, and that word just gets thrown around because, yeah, well, it depends. Sometimes people like to label people just based off of their own hurt that they're not able to face and own up to. So we do want to be careful about that. But yeah, there's no room for a man to show any of his human side in a relationship. And if he does, well, you're not a high value man, and then that will be, that will be the cloud over top of a man's head, raining down on him whenever he makes a mistake. That's not healthy. That's not normal. Okay. So if woman's watching this, a man, really check into that and see maybe in your past relationships where this has happened, and then question, why did you allow it to happen? A woman will not allow you to fall short in your life, and she will make it very clear to you. But when a woman falls short in the relationship or just within her own life, we expect men to save us and to just kind of cater to us and our own sometimes toxic traits. This is not setting women up for being healthy or men. So confronting each other in a respectful manner, I'm always for. Another double standard is, I don't know if you guys have seen on the internet, but women come up with these long lists of icks that they get from men. I'm not sure if you've seen that trend where women state their icks, which is like an ick is like, it's icky. It's like, it doesn't make you attracted to a man, or it turns you off from a man. Now, women can literally go online publicly and state all of these things. But if a man does it online especially, and he states maybe when a woman's out of shape and he doesn't like women out of shape, misogynist. He hates women. He doesn't appreciate the woman's body. No, he's stating what he desires in a woman, which is health. Now, this is something that is also a huge double standard. A woman not taking care of herself, she a baddie, she thick, she whatever, she's really unhealthy, okay? And if a man does not have six-pack abs and is maybe packing a little bit of a dad bod, ew, he's gross. He doesn't qualify for the man I want. He's not 6 feet tall. Doesn't have abs. He doesn't, etc. Now, we all have preferences, but women, really look into yourself first. Are you overweight? Why would you want a man celebrating your unhealthy habits in a relationship? You guys should be motivating one another towards your health in all categories. So yeah, another double standard men face is women being able to be unhealthy and unfit and doesn't take care of herself. But these women are still expecting to have high value men because the internet has told her that's what she's deserving of. Because women are deserving of all the high value men out there, right? Without being a high value woman or knowing where to start. And that's within accessing your femininity in order to actually have a healthy relationship to the masculine men you're desiring. That's how it works. So that's another double standard, is really in physical appearance. If a man states maybe if a woman's not attractive to him, ugly, not fit, not in shape, and a woman has like a 100-page list of icks that she finds in men, and that's okay, and that gets millions of views and likes. But a man does it, he still gets millions and views of likes, but it's to the contrary. It's not being celebrated, it's being heavily attacked for him having standards. So let's look into these things. I'm going to start with these first and foremost. I hope this video brought some light just to some things that are very normalized in today's society that need our attention. And by us even watching today's video, being aware of this, I really hope it can create change in your life by just observing the outside world in a way that you can really see toxic patternings that can be found within women and men. It's not just men, okay? It's also women in today's society. And I say that because I want us to work together again. I want us to assist one another, understand one another, and come to terms where we actually get to be celebrated for who we are. And, you know, helping one another within that, because we all can help one another. And it's by not pointing the finger or blaming other people, but owning up to where our shortcomings have been and then fulfilling them in a way that we can do without another person. And that specifically starts with not shaming, and that specifically starts with not constantly finding yourself in the pattern of putting down the opposite of you. Won't get you fulfillment. So I hope you guys liked today's video. If you did, let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.